All right, let's go ahead and let's get to school. And good morning. It's the start of a new month. It is May 1st, and it is only 6:46 in the morning, but that means also we're 5 minutes late. So we need to get going to school.
We're 7 minutes late.
We're slackers.
Subscribe.
All right, let's get going to high school and let's go have some fun.
All right.
Ready? Okay, let's get going. All right, Lil, I hope you have a great day in school. Have fun and go see your boyfriend.
He here? Aw, he's not here.
He is here. I still remember back in high school when I was so excited to be able to see Tiffany in the morning. Back when we were dating, it was so cool. Showing up to high school in the morning, seeing her waiting there. It was a lot of fun. All right, let's get going. Let's go have a great day. Congratulations on turning 36 years old. Although you haven't aged that well.
I thought it was 37.
No, 36.
36?
Yes, May 1st, 1989. Holy smokes. 36 years ago, what you know as Hollywood Studios today at Disney, which once was MGM Studios, originally opened. And boy, was it a lot different back then.
Yeah.
Let's get over to the park. Let's go make it a fun day. Originally, I didn't know if Tiffany was going to come up, but then she decided to join us. And I am more than ecstatic with that.
So I have a disaster to work on when I get home.
And the reason why I'm ecstatic to have her with is because it was one of her probably favorite parks back then too.
I actually enjoyed it, yeah. I missed the movie.
With that beautiful traditional 1950s vibe.
Oh, the tram ride, I missed that too.
With everything. It was so amazing.
Yeah.
But the backlot stage tour, the animation courtyard, all of it was just so amazing. So what we're going to do is let's go over to Hollywood, MGM, and let's go ahead and talk about what once was. And let's just reflect on the past for a little bit.
Yeah.
You ready?
Yep.
All right, let's go have some fun. Hopefully it's not going to be too crowded either.
I know. Might be it.
We'll see. But it was also a good to go day, meaning I still had to check the app to see if I could book a reservation, but then I found out I didn't have to book a reservation. Such a stupid and pointless system. Let's go in the Dunkin' and let's get a coffee real quick and something to snack on. Well, I don't know why, but the Dunkin' in here over on 535, they now charge 50 cents for a cup of water. And honestly, I was a little bit surprised.
So was I.
Now, here's the thing, okay? It's not the amount of money. It's not that 50 cents, ooh, it's a lot of money. I can understand them charging me 50 cents for a cup of water if I was just coming in trying to get a free cup of water.
Yeah, I know.
But I had already paid for a nice coffee, paid for 2 donuts for us, paid for 2 sausage, egg, and cheese wake-up wraps. And they couldn't just give a complimentary cup of water. That's pretty commonly standard.
No, I feel like I could get free water from Starbucks too. Pretty sure I did last time.
I feel like you could get that anywhere. We have arrived at last. Just think, once upon a time, this sign here would have said MGM Studios. Alright, 306, Mickey's starting off. Since we are actually like right at the entrance, we don't need a tram. Because look, the entranceway is right there. Just think, the first thing that would have been not here when the park opened would have been a security checkpoint. because they did not exist back then. You could just walk right into the park without an issue at all. One of the newest additions to the park has to be the Skyliner. One of the coolest ways to go ahead and get around the resorts on the loop. This has to be the best girl in the entire world. In all of Disney World. You ready?
Yeah.
It's amazing how during the holiday time, I spent a lot of time over here in this area setting up. And this is just so freaking amazing. And look at the beautiful Disney's Hollywood Studios sign. And once upon a time, that would have said Disney's MGM Studios. Wow. However, the one thing that has definitely changed has to be the price at $174 to get in today and $169 for a child. It's amazing. I still remember coming through those gates way back in the day and seeing Grumman's Theater, and my face would have just lit up a gorgeous smile because of one amazing ride that I loved ever since way back in the day. But I can't do it anymore. The Great Movie Ride.
Watch videos of it.
That's all I can do. It's just watch other people's videos. The Great Movie Ride was one of the most amazing rides of all time in all of the Disney parks.
Although I guess if you have one of those virtual realities, you can kind of ride the ride in the thing.
Ooh. Now you're giving me ideas.
Pull up the video and do that way.
All right, the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to go over to Hollywoodland side. And we're going to go ahead and go to Sunset Boulevard. And the reason why is because of the Beauty and the Beast stage show. Let's go take a look at that area quick. All right. So if you take a look over here, okay? This area here may seem kind of normal, okay? However, over here on the right was an actual Planet Hollywood gift shop from back in the day. And it was so cool. They used to have all kinds of Planet Hollywood stuff in here. And right when you would enter, they would have props right up here. They used to actually have a Power Rangers costume for the longest time. And right over here as well. I'm old, aren't I?
Do I have to answer that?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, that's a cool bag.
I really like this bag.
But that's an even better shirt setup. I think I could rock that setup. You come out of the gift shop and what do you see? The beautiful Hollywood Tower Hotel. So keep in mind, the Hollywood Tower Hotel did not open when the actual theme park did. It actually opened July 22nd, 1994. So just a few years after the park opened, they realized they needed more rides. So they put in the famous Hollywood Tower Hotel, aka Tower of Terror. At first, yeah, it was alright. And then they introduced the randomized computer drop sequence, where at random, it would have all the drops. It was pretty innovative for its time. And here we have the Beauty and the Beast show. Over here at Theater of the Stars.
Changing again.
When did this open?
God, I want to say when I was maybe 11. I don't know how long. I was
All right.
8 or 12.
Rock and Roller Coaster. Another ride, part of the previous millennium. Okay, before all that took over. July 29th, 1999 was when this went ahead and it opened, and it was pretty cool. And in fact, Aerosmith is not going to be part of it much longer. Just saying, soon enough, this is not going to be the Rock and Roller Coaster by Aerosmith. Instead, it is going to be by the Muppets. That sucks. I don't care for roller coasters, okay? But come on. This just screams Aerosmith. It doesn't scream Muppets. Does it to you?
You're supposed to use that rock and band Muppet stuff.
Oh, baloney. Malarkey. This is Aerosmith. It's Rock Band. And then right here at Sunset Showcase, we used to have a Lightning McQueen show for a while. However, that is going to be changing to a Villains Fairly Ever After show.
I think Lily's going to really like that. I'm looking forward to it.
That will be cool. The whole premise of that show is going to be showing the villains and how they weren't exactly treated fairly in their storyline. So, a retelling of it from their point of view. Pretty cool.
Yeah, they're supposed to pick out who had it the worst, I guess.
All right, what do you miss the most?
Honey, I Shrunk the Kids location.
The Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, the movie set adventure, that was awesome.
Weird, because I grew up with it as a kid playing in there, and my kid grew up playing in there. Now it's just gone.
I think for me, the thing that I miss the most has to be Streets of America. Because I thought it was so freaking cool that they would actually make a film here.
Yeah.
An actual movie that you could go to the theater and see by Bette Midler. The problem is that, like Universal learned, is that noise happened, so trying to isolate it became too hard. So that's why they pretty much stopped making movies here.
Yeah.
And moved all their production back to California. And here we are coming up on the famous Hollywood Brown Derby Lounge. Nope, it is still one of the most premier places to eat around here. And probably one of the best in the park. We are in the most amazing area. Probably one of the best areas from back in the day. Animation Courtyard. I know. It was really amazing. And the reason why is because so many great films were actually done back here. A lot of awesome stuff was. Because when you think about it, okay? You could actually go on a tour and see animators actually working in real time. And how freaking cool was that? You could actually see The Lion King being made. Beauty and the Beast. Well, actually, yeah, because I think Beauty and the Beast came out after this park opened. That is how freaking cool it would have been. I got a stalker with me.
Maybe.
Hi. So yeah, if you take a look here, we actually have Star Wars Lunch Bay, and this would have been home to the animators area. So what you would do is you would go on a tour and you would see how basically animation was done back then. You would see drawing rooms, all kinds of awesome stuff. It was so ridiculously cool. And if you actually watch old episode of Full House, yes, you can actually see them using this area like it was. However, you cannot have a beautiful Hollywood Studios without the amazing man himself, Walt Disney.
That's amazing. This went through to get what he was in the end.
Almost as bad as the McDonald's brothers. Wow, they also had it hard back then. I don't think anybody will ever preserve my school desk.
Yeah. I wonder if this is actually the real one or just a replica, because
Who would have
there's
ever thought
another
that?
one that's also in this state where he used to live.
Just saying, this is an example of an early animation table from 1928. Just saying, this trunk accompanied Walt and Lillian Disney on overseas voyages. For Walt Disney, travel was not simply an escape, It inspired new ideas for more films, television shows, and Disneyland attractions. That's what our problem is. No, that's our problem.
Oh,
We're stagnant here in Florida.
yes.
We need to leave and see other things outside. Wow, Sleeping Beauty Castle. That is a good goal to have, to go see in real life. And just think, even Britney Spears later became a Musketeer, and so did Justin Timberlake. Jack Jack's Num Num Cookie. A warm, crunchy, but gooey chocolate chip cookie tart. If I didn't already have a donut, that looked pretty good. Alright, so this area is not just home to The Incredibles and to the baby, but also to this up ahead, and I want to show you. Alright, so here we are. We're looking at a brick wall. And truthfully, I know it looks like just any other brick wall, but there's a reason we're actually looking at this brick wall. So basically, this brick wall was actually on the other side. There was a really cool 1990s Turtles setup. So way back, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles were like all the rage, okay? We actually had like Turtle Mania where you had turtles on everything, your lunch pail, your figurines, the cartoon shows, and most importantly, the movies. And over here, you could actually meet the turtles. They would pull up in a van and you could actually meet them. How freaking cool was that? I miss those days. It is important to remember that when the characters are walking, don't get in their way because they're not allowed to stop. And it's also a little bit impolite and rude. So let them get to their destination, then you can line up and meet the character that you want to see. That is the best tip I can offer you besides the free water here. I think I figured out where we are. We're actually right on. We're going to be entering the area of the backlot tour where they would have done costuming, it looks like. Because if you take a look, then you got the water effects tank, you got the sound stage, Mickey Avenue. But yeah, just think right now, we're actually on the backlot tour. That is so freaking awesome. But this backlot tour actually stretches all the way over in the Galaxy's Edge. And we know that because a lot of keen-eye viewers have actually figured out the location of the Golden Girls house. So by using a bit of map skills, you can go and figure out right where we are. Just think, back then you would have seen the Osborne lights stretched over here. It would have been amazing during the holidays.
Absolute most is Osborne Lane.
I cannot get over how they got rid of a lot of free Christmas entertainment.
Yeah.
Oh my god, we just saw somebody that actually had a birthday pin on. A girl named Ashley, and what's really cool is that her birthday is coinciding with the birthday of this park. That is so awesome. I just can't help but think about all the families that have come through here, all the people, the children's lives that were changed that said, one day I want to work for Disney World. Wow. That's pretty cool to think.
Swirling saucer activity in a nearby sector.
Sorry, Buzz, we can't hang out today. After all, you got a 25-minute wait, and we don't got time for that. Let's keep going.
Or am I wrong?
You know what? Let's get out our handy-dandy map.
Yeah.
Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to consult our handy-dandy map. So we saw where the turtles were. That was freaking awesome. Let's see here. Honey, I Shrunk. Yeah, actually, that would have been right about where you were pointing. Yeah.
Also.
How freaking awesome is that? That is where our child, though, would have made some of the best memories.
Yes.
Playing on those slides, going down this slide, even with mommy.
We actually have a picture of her going down that slide.
Oh, man. And just think, here we are. We're also hanging out with a pretty cool guy and just chilling.
So,
Aw, he ran off. Celebrities. Don't want to be on camera, do they?
you.
And here we are at the rest of the backlot tour. It is amazing how this park has transformed over the years, and I'm just gonna put this out there. When the backlot tour closed, when Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, the movie set adventure closed, if I would have said to myself, I am done with Disney, there's no more, I would have missed out on so much more that would have been developed. Because despite those two amazing closures, and great movie, right? Okay, 3 now.
Yes.
Disney has done some pretty cool innovations. And one of the best has to be when it came to Rise of the Resistance. Although it's a ride that breaks down more than anything else still. Oh my god, take a look.
The resistance must not be allowed to regroup. If someone in this outpost knows something, we need to find them.
Sir, I'll need a team straight away.
You will await further orders.
It is really nice though, because
Tell your
well,
homework.
Disney has done a lot to go away from the whole movie interactive experience. They have, on the other hand, brought in familiar characters back into the Star Wars land to go ahead and make it feel like a really immersive environment, which has done wonders to give you that feeling that you're not in a movie, but you're in an entire land. And that is just freaking awesome as heck. By the way, I gotta ask, have I had a lot of people staying with me today?
Oh, yes.
Sweet! Did I possibly get a new record?
Yeah.
Maybe. We'll see. This is such a freaking cool attraction from the videos I've seen. I still have not had the courage to actually go on it yet. One day I shall. Alright, here we are. Alright, I want to bring your attention right to here now. Right where this nice gentleman is walking out of and this family is. Because this has to be one of the highlights of my childhood. This has to be one of the areas that define my childhood and really brought me the most happiness. Until I met this girl. Golden Girls, Beatrice Arthur, and all of them. It was the show that defined my childhood, to be honest. I loved watching it with my nana. I loved just watching it on my own. And truthfully, I still do. Sophia, amazing. Although I did get my own rose. But here's the deal. This is the spot. I don't want to hit anybody.
Yeah.
This is the spot that would have been for Golden Girls on the backlot tour. So the exterior shot of the house would have been right here. And of course the interior shots were actually filmed on an actual stage. But how freaking awesome is that? When I came across this on the backlot tour as a child, my eyes lit up and I was in such awe and amazement about it. And I thought it was the next coolest thing to see in the Batmobile up in Daytona Beach and Knight Rider kit car as well. But even still, seeing that house was amazing to me. And everybody's walking by here and they don't even know what they're walking past at all. And as we finish our backlot tour, please go ahead and get yourself a Mighty Ducks pup over at the gift shop on your way off.
Brian.
Do you remember those?
No, actually, I don't.
Oh my god. I wanted one so badly too.
Oh.
It really is amazing to just stand here and think about all the changes that have really happened to Disney World. Some for the better, some not so. But overall, change is inevitable. And after all, Walt Disney himself said that the park should never stop evolving. That it should always be evolving and changing. So that's why I think I get a little frustrated when people say Walt Disney wouldn't have wanted that way. He wouldn't want this to go away. He wouldn't want that to go away. Because really, yeah, he would have. Because he knew that change had to happen. That change is important. Especially in a theme park's life. She is so darn cute back there. In case you're wondering, so Tiffany's actually been walking around me or in back of me to basically monitor for other people. Just to give me heads up. But wow, this has just been one heck of an amazing day. And not to mention, I am so glad that I brought her today. And Uncle Orville, you were the one that gave me the idea that you need to get back into the Disney parks and do more videos. So that's why I decided to come today and do this one. I gotta admit, seeing the X-Wing is still really awesome. Even better than the A-Wing fighter. This thing is pretty darn cool. Which one do you like more?
Yeah.
The X-Wing? Star Wars noob.
I like how they made it look like it landed and then brought up some dirt.
That is awesome. That is one of the cool things that Disney really, they tried to, when they built this land, of going into some pretty cool details like that too. Now, yes, there is a lot of controversy when it comes to Imagineers over the past 2-3 years or so. Most particularly when it came to Tiana's Bayou Adventure. A ride that has spent more time with trouble than actually being open. And that has caused some issues. But when you take a look at Imagineers overseas in Tokyo, for instance, holy smokes, it is a whole different ballpark. The Beauty and the Beast attraction over there makes our Ratatouille ride look like 20th century junk. It really does.
Yeah,
And it makes the Frozen animatronics look horrible as well. And that brings me to a good point. Is Disney actually trying anymore? Or do they want to do just enough to get by? What really is the problem? Is it funding? Is it creativity? Is it burnout? I don't know. Either way, Disney needs to get their butts back on track because Epic Universe, open now to the general public for preview tickets, is pulling ahead full steam and leaving them in the dust. And to think, this park here, okay? This park is actually stolen intellectual property. You know that, right? All right, history lesson. Michael Eisner went to Universal where they actually pitched Universal Studios. And in fact, he was inside of a conference room where they were actually doing the entire presentation for Universal Studios. However, he thought, you know what, I could go ahead and make my own part. Went to Disney, became CEO, gone ahead, created said park here, and hence, that's why we had MGM Studios. Because Michael Eisner had enough foresight to go ahead and think we could go ahead and create our own. You get it? And that is why we have this park. Now, Animal Kingdom, on the other hand, that is because over at Islands of Adventure, when it was being created, originally, they didn't even have a mythological land. Instead, Animal Kingdom was supposed to have a mythological land. However, the Imagineers got so irritated with everything that was going on and all the politics behind the scenes, they left, said screw it, and let's go over to Universal. And that's when they developed Duel and Dragons, Mythos, all the mythological area. And hence that is also why you have a unicorn parking lot, but no sign of a unicorn in the entire park. Yep. Whew. That was awesome. That's only with 1 cup of coffee. You want to get me on 2?
No.
You see, I thought what she was actually trying to show me was the last remnants of the back lot and of the amazing Streets of America. Wow. Every time I see this area, I'm both happy and a little sad at the same time. Here we have Miss Liberty, aka Miss Piggy, and Muppet Vision, which will be closing, sadly. So this area here. Alright, you know what? Screw it. I'm not going to do another quick 30-second one. I'm going to take my time on this one because this here used to be a Toy Story themed Pizza Planet before it became Pizza Rizzo. And what's really cool about the whole Pizza Planet is that you could go ahead, order the food, while your kids went ahead and played some cool arcade games as well. That was awesome back in the day. Okay, so basically here's the deal. Monsters Inc. area I am not too fond of, and the reason why is because I don't believe Monsters Inc. actually deserves an entire land to themselves. After only having about 3 movies in total, and not actually doing anything to shift or change the animation landscape of how things have been, honestly, I don't think that they deserve the actual land to be built around them. I think that there's a lot better IPs from Disney, including their newly acquired Marvel, that could have gone here, including Avengers Campus. We should have had an Avengers Campus East, including maybe a Wolverine ride and Deadpool ride. That would have been awesome, but unfortunately, we can't. And I imagine it has something to do with the contract that is still existing when it comes to Universal Islands of Adventure having those rights as well for the previous versions of the characters. And just think, way back in the day, you would have exited out a Muppet Vision 3D, come over here to an awesome gift shop, and you would have had a really cool experience in there. Those were the good old days. But we can't get those back. This is so freaking cool. Because as you stand here, you get the Broadway Plumbing building up here. You get the last remnants of Streets of America. You get the Muppet Vision, Miss Piggy fountain right here. And then on top of all that, you get the Hollywood Tower Hotel in the background. This is so freaking cool of a sight. Almost as beautiful as this. What's funny too is that at one point in time, Muppet Vision was so popular, it would have had to use this extended queue over here. That is freaking awesome. However, over the years, the actual desire to go ahead and sit and stand at a show became less popular, and people wanted to do actual attractions that were interactive more. Hence, that's also why Toy Story Midway Mania is so freaking popular and has some of the longest lines as well. Alright, so here we actually have a token on the ground, survey marker. LBV, 4 foot, RWGV, 13.5 feet, OC, 4 foot building, BLDG. That's pretty cool. It's amazing the historical reference markers that still exist over here. Alright, so here we actually have Star Tours. Opened December 15, 1989, and it was the first attraction to open in the park's new backlot annex area. That's awesome. Wow, this area is freaking cool as heck. They used to have the car actually out here from Who Framed Roger Rabbit, and it would have been right around this area here. God, that takes me back to the old days. So in an earlier clip, okay, I went ahead and I poured water on Tiffany.
Oh my god, you want me to pour it on you yelling, okay?
That is actually ice cold.
Oh.
Almost as ice cold as that. Okay, so we are now down to our final few minutes here before we gotta go and get Lily. So let's do a quick roll. Are you ready? I am. Here we have the Hyperion Theater, originally home to Doug and many other shows throughout its course of time, and now home to Frozen. Over here we used to have the bust courtyard, back where they used to have busts of different famous celebrities, including Bill Cosby and Beatrice Arthur and many others. And here we have Indiana Jones Epic Stunt Spectacular, another awesome show from way back in the beginning of time. Wow. Well, I would tell you to grab a Coke, but you can't. That is so cool. Get it? Because it's fake ice. It's so cool. And it's dripping too. Alright, let's get going. Warning. Do not pull the rope. But it says do pull the rope.
Oh, blast! Not again! Oh!
I think you caused somebody to fall.
Uh-oh. Oh god, we're always causing a problem. Let's try and help him one more time.
You off the rope, old chap? You're good. Oh, I'm a frightfully valuable artifact down here. Oh no, I had a terribly valuable artifact down here.
That's actually.
Oh crap. Should we try helping him one last time before we go? Yeah, let's go for it. We can't do any worse.
I say, move off the rope, old chap. You're a jolly good sport there.
Alright.
I guess
You ready?
that's it, yeah.
Yeah, he's done for. We destroyed all the ancient artifacts. This has to be one of the most beautiful houses that still remains. So over here at this gorgeous house, you can go ahead and have a nice dinner made by your own relative. How freaking awesome is that? Yeah, your grandma will actually cook the meal. How cool. That is why it's 50's Primetime Cafe. And grandma will take you to the table, go ahead and sit you down, tell you all the rules, or another relative. And trust me, you don't want to break the rules because they will punish you.
I like
Unless you're into that like she is.
I do. I like this place a lot.
You did not get that quip.
I got it. I just tried to ignore it.
Tiff,
Yeah, you probably could have got away with that.
$45.
Yeah. Ah, see, it's just as cool, too.
Powerline Max.
Wow, it's really been 30 years?
Are you that old? Am I that old? Alright, that's an interesting bag.
Yeah.
I should do a road trip with Lil. And here we are back at the crossroads of the world. And it is our time to go. So let's get over to the car and let's talk. You know what? This is awesome. You know, I always wondered what it'd be like to have a tall girlfriend. Now I know. Hi. Let's get going to the car. Too big of a step for you?
A bit.
All right, Uncle Orville, it's actually a low temperature today. It's 91. 91 is a low temperature in Florida right about now. Isn't that nice?
Besides that, we have to say 91 is a low temperature.
It really is.
We're sweating our butts off.
You have it at 72 on your side.
Oh, I don't know why.
All right, so here's what we need to do. We need to get back home, relax a little, decompress. Then we gotta get Lily at what, 141?
Yeah, 140.
Okay. And right now it's 11:53 and it takes about 30 minutes to 40 minutes to get home from here. Honestly, it has just been one amazing adventure today. I know that there was a lot of people that were staring at me, and honestly, I've been doing this for so long, I just gotten used to it. It doesn't even bother me anymore. I know to her, she gets a little, like, overwhelmed, so to speak, with it, of everybody staring. But really, when you're in the moment, my only focus is on that one camera lens right in front of me. And considering I'm now using an Action 5 Pro, and I used to use a huge DSLR, a 90D, yeah, at least it's gotten smaller.
That's why it made it really interesting that a lot of people were staring. When you were using such a small camera, it shouldn't have been so obvious.
I think it's just the idea of, oh crap, there's a frickin' vlogger.
I think so.
Because next to vloggers, the only other annoying thing to general population people is live streamers. Because as a live streamer, you get everything on camera and you can't erase it initially. So if there's a family that's arguing, if there's a spouse that's having a big issue or something, it's on camera immediately for sometimes 1,400 people to see or more.
Yeah.
But I like mixing it up. I like vlogging, I like live streaming, but I also love creating and telling stories of the day. And that's why I got back into daily vlogging and did it this way, and then merged the channels together. But it has been one great birthday. Not for me. After all, I'm 40. Not for her. She's 38. But for our best friend, MGM Studios, who turned 36 today. And just think, 40 years ago, this area here that we're sitting on would just been desolate grassland.
Oh, yeah.
How freaking cool would that have been to see?
Yeah.
And just think how awesome that would have been. Because keep in mind, this is before the invention of the annual pass. How awesome that would have been to see it being built over time. And to be able to be one of the first employees for this. That would have been an honor, truly.
A really big hiring event.
But it is time for us to go now. Get back home. And just relax a little. Yeah. 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 Oh my god, it is really burning up now.
Okay.
Earlier, we left Disney. It was 91.
Yeah.
Now, let me show you. It is 100 degrees. Wow.
It is. It's hot.
Are you hot?
Yeah.
All right, Lil, did you have a good day in school?
Yeah.
Did you have a lot of fun?
Yeah.
Do you want to go home and play on your iPad?
Yeah.
Tough luck, you can't. We gotta go get dinner. 106 degrees! Wow. It's definitely gotten warmer.
Oh, yeah.
Let's go into Publix and let's get dinner. All right, matchstick carrots. Let's do it. Southwest style corn. Perfect. All right, perfect. Just like her. It is 2:30. Let's get home. I feel like it's been a very long day.
It has been. Oh.
Are we up any? Oh, we're actually down a degree. We're at 99. Congratulations. It's cooler out.
I guess it just depends on where we park.
Wait for it.
I don't like these.
Too sour for you?
Yes.
Sour, freeze-dried Skittles. Okay, it is 3:10 now. I had a few of those Skittles pop thing, the freeze-dried sour candy, and now my tongue is like numb and it feels like aching, throbbing. I recommend don't do that, please. Spare yourself the pain. Anyway, today was actually a really great day. We got to go out, we got to have fun, we got to help celebrate the birth of one of our favorite parks, MGM Hollywood Studios. And it was amazing. It was a lot of fun. We got to go in and just walk around and relive some of our old memories. And I enjoyed it quite a lot. But at the same time, it was also a little sad too, because you realize all the stuff that has left as well. But the point is to take away is that change needs to happen so that way the parks can evolve. Is the next stage of what Disney bringing gonna be the right move? Only time will tell. But what I can tell you is that down the line, it's gonna shift again. The rides that you're upset about that replaced your current favorite ride, they're gonna be gone too. Tiana's Bayou Adventure is not gonna stick around forever. It's gonna be replaced by another ride in a few years. 10, 20 years, it'll be replaced again. Because that's what Disney is all about. It's all about evolving the parks for each decade and for each time period. And that's the best part. It's always changing and expanding. And with that being said, I hope you guys had a great time with us over at MGM Hollywood. It was a lot of fun. And I hope to see you guys tomorrow. Thank you so much. And have a great night.
But I know